Hello traders, Sid here with another video, and in this video I'm not going to talk about any stocks or their technical analysis and where they are heading, but in this video I'm going over all the major indices like Nasdaq, S&P 500 E-mini futures, Russell, and rest of the ETF fund to give you a glimpse of entire market, like what's happening, what's not happening. Okay, so market has been sold off aggressively in recent weeks, and this selling trend is not normal. So far we have seen 4 weeks of constant sell-off, as you guys can see here. Now market is a living breathing creature and certainly has its ups and downs. Now this selling pressure will not continue for much longer. I'm not talking about like complete trend reversal. I'm just talking about for a brief period of time where we can see a bull rally. Now this selling pressure might not continue for much longer, as we might see seller capitulations going into the next week or so. That's just my guess. Okay, here capitulation means seller exhaustion. Now even though the market is bearish, such type of selling pressure creates a volatility and imbalance, and I believe there will be some sort of relief rally coming up next. That means into the next week. Now this week, as I said, I'm not going to cover any stock in this watch list, as most of them are looking similar and there is no clear visible pattern in them. All the stocks are heading towards downside. They are in bear market. We are in a bear market territory, so everything is going down, and it's not worthwhile just to see like where that stock is heading or the next support level is or something like that. It's better to take a look at different markets and what they are doing, which one is the strongest and which one is the weakest. That's why I decided to cover a few important futures and ETF that can provide us some picture of upcoming trends. For analysis purpose, we are going to take a look at weekly, daily and hourly stochastic. I'm in this indicator along with RSI because these indicators are designed to give you an indication of a trend, okay, whether it's going to be a trend reversal or continuation of the existing trend. So let's start with the Nasdaq. On a weekly time frame, as you guys can see here, this is the Nasdaq chart. We have this nice cup formation followed by the handle, and this 4 weeks of selling might continue for next week or for few days of the next week, but not more than that. Why? Because this is still a bullish sign, and the constant selling for 4 weeks is too much. To get more clear picture, the stochastic on daily and hourly time frame also indicates the upcoming reversal. What I mean by that, when this green line crosses the red line, that means we are in a trend reversal or selling has stopped and buyers are stepping in. Now the same trend is observed on the weekly chart. If I go to a daily chart, you can see that we are right over there, kind of like crossing, and on hourly chart as well we are crossing above. So the daily chart is little bit misleading because here it's showing that the bullish trend has started, but obviously we had the sell off today, so it might bounce back up and it might briefly cross this red line a little bit down towards the downside and then cross again above the red line. Now if we move on to SPY or S&P 500 E-mini futures, you can get the similar picture over here. Okay, also one thing to notice on hourly time frame is that the selling volume picked up today, and the selling volume was pretty huge. So as you guys can see here, we had the similar volume exactly on 31st March, and even before that we had similar volumes on 26 January 2022, and even before that we had the similar volume on 1st December of 21st. So this type of volume patterns we might see some buyers stepping in following the following days of the week, and we are still holding above 4,000, which is nice, but how long we can hold this level? And then the only question remains is, will be able to break this downtrend for now. Now also you can see that I have this Bollinger Band over here, and we've been trading quite a while on this lower band of this Bollinger Band. Now the Bollinger Band basically is a box, and it basically tells you the movement of that stock's price action over a certain percentage on the positive and the negative side. And this line is basically a median of that Bollinger Band. So we are trading quite on the lower side of this Bollinger Band. So I think we might get a reversal over here leading up to this median of this Bollinger Band, and from that point onward we need to just see like how it reacts, whether it continues uptrend or just get rejection from that level and coming down. Now moving on to Russell is very interesting because it's looking absolutely bearish, and if I go to a daily chart, you guys can see we are forming this bear flag where we come down, and now we are chopping sideways in this box, which is kind of like a bear flag. This is a pole, this is a flag. So for the Russell, I think we are going to retest this level 175 to 170, and if we broke below that, then we have this small gap to fill between 168 to 165. So that's just to keep an eye on. And this is a little bit strange because when SPY and Nasdaq were falling, Russell hold up pretty well, and now everything is falling. Like Russell also joined S&P 500 E-mini futures and Nasdaq. So it's interesting to see how this trend develop over the time and where exactly we are heading. Now moving on to the SPY. The SPY has a similar chart as of S&P 500 E-mini futures, and I'm interested to see if we can hold this 400 level, which is a critical level for SPY to hold. If we couldn't hold that level, then we can quickly flush back down to around 380. I would say 380 will be the next zone to watch for, and if we even couldn't hold that level, then we have this support level right around 350 level, so we can come down quickly to that level if we couldn't get any kind of support from the buyers at that price point. Moving on to XLF is a beat down sector for now. I don't know, I was expecting banks to do good, but it's not performing as expected. XLF is also known as a finance sector, and it's looking the weakest among the all, and I don't see any hopes of reversal anytime soon until it touches to 30 level, where it has this major support right around this level. We already broke through this level, and we are coming straight down to retest this support if we continue to see selling pressure in the market. Now moving on to XLE or the energy sector is looking bullish and strong, and it's good to see something green within the sea of the red. It's kind of forming this head and shoulder pattern, if you guys noticed, and which might or might not play out. Okay, in either case, I want to see a pullback towards 70 and then continuation from there onwards to $80 level, and that will be like a nice push, like a bullish push towards the upside. But as of now, if we continue to get this selling pressure, then I think we might retest this level 68.70, bounce back, and then might break north of 75. And if we couldn't do that, then we will complete this head and shoulder pattern. Right now we already formed this left shoulder, head, double top over here, and then we are coming down. So it's interesting to see how it plays out. Stochastic is still showing that the bullish trend is in play, but need to be careful over here considering we have this head and shoulder. Now moving on to the VIX is a little bit interesting over here. We have this rounding bottom, and I don't know if we are going to fill this cup completely, reaching to all-time high of this pandemic level, or we are just going to keep hovering around within this range of 40, 44, 45 and pulling back down towards 25, 20, and then ping-ponging between those levels. But as you guys can see here, we are already at 33, 34 level. We might go as high as 38 or 40, and as you guys can see here, the stochastic is start curling over. That means sellers are getting exhausted and buyers are stepping in, and I believe so because it's overdue. 4 weeks of continuous sell-off is not a normal thing, as I said previously. Moving on to QQQ, which tracks a Nasdaq, has a similar chart, and the major level to watch for is 300 level. If we broke through that level, then we might quickly come down to around 265, and I don't think so that will happen. We will hold this 300 level and bounce back up from there, with VIX turning bearish. Moving on to SPY-V. SPY-V is a value sector of S&P 500, and it's holding nicely, but it might retest the 38 level where it has a strong support, and if it couldn't hold there, then 33 level is not that far off. Its stochastic is also showing a reversal. As you guys can see here, we might get trend reversal, and probably we will chop over here a little bit before getting that bullish trend, but within that chop zone we might retest this level around 38, and if we crack that level, then we have this massive support over here around 35. So $3 to $4 drop is not out of range, so we might see retest of 35 before pushing higher. Now the crude oil is looking fantastic. As you guys can see here, we have this falling wedge and like kind of triangle pattern, something like this. If I draw over here, so I'm drawing this kind of like not a perfect one, but you get the picture. If we broke through here, then we have this resistance level of 110, and be above that 150, 20 and 130 level. But if we couldn't hold that level, if we couldn't push immediately, then we might retest this level where we have strong support at 94, 95 level. XLY, or the consumer discretionary sector, is very interesting. It held its level for a while before giving up all its gain. Now it didn't flush like Nasdaq and ES, but showed some resilience towards the downside, which is a good thing to see in the current market condition. I would like to see it hold 160, 150 level with a strong bounce toward 170. XLV, or the healthcare sector, is the another one which performed strongly, and it showed the bullishness, but the chart looked concerning to me as it's a bit lagging behind S&P 500 and Nasdaq towards the bearish side. So I think like we might see another leg down right towards 126, 125. So this is a range we need to watch for. We can get a pullback towards there, and then we might see a leg higher from there. Next one is XLP. XLP, or consumer staple, shows a solid strength and it's due for a pullback, to be honest. There are the two levels to watch for: 77, which is right over here, and then around 70 371. As long as it stays between this range, bounce back and forth, then there is no reason to go bearish on it as of now. I think it will perform well for the rest of the year, as rising inflation adds more revenue to the Costco, Walmart, and big holdings which are there in this ETF fund. So this sector will perform good irrespective of rising inflation, and just keep an eye on it. If it comes down to 72 level, I will buy call options personally. That's my personal trading plan. I don't recommend you to follow me. I'm not a financial advisor, so take your own decision at your own risk. And finally, XOP, or the oil and gas sector ETF, is looking strong, but expect a pullback towards 100 as stochastic is inverted, showing some bullishness, but I would like to see its pullback towards 100, which consider as a strong healthy pullback, and we might see a bounce back from there. As also you can see here, we are kind of forming head and shoulders, so that might be the case. If we pull back towards this 140 110 level and bounce back from there, then we might complete this right shoulder and come back down again. So keep those things in mind. Okay, so I covered most of the sector instead of the stock to show you the major trends in the market, so that you can get some understanding of what's happening in the overall market and not just in one sector or one part of it. Now, be careful of any bull rally, as it might give you the hope of reversal, but it could be a trap for you, and you might end up in a nasty downtrend. Market is so sensitive right now with inflation, supply chain issue, Russia-Ukraine war and everything, so slight positive or negative news can shift the market dynamics towards one way or the other. So be careful with your trades, keep an eye on all this sector and pick the one which suits your style, either on the put side or the bearish side or the call or the bull side. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching and see you in next video.